Berlin's old Tempelhof airport. This is where a new refugee camp is being built, one of 23 container villages planned for the city to move migrants out of emergency accommodation. In another part of town, this container village is already in use and home to 250 refugees, mainly from Syria, Iraq, Iran and Afghanistan. Alan Chaiko shares his container home with 3 other Syrians. Before moving here in January, they lived in a sports hall for more than a year.
This is my room, my bed, a cupboard. This is my bathroom.
They've been told they could have to live here for up to 3 years. They're among the 70,000 refugees who have arrived in the city since 2015.
When we first moved here, I felt a bit shy. I didn't feel comfortable. But when I got to know the people working here, they're so nice, and they help us a lot. They explain everything. I've gotten used to it now. But it's a bit far from the city centre. I can't live here for 3 years.
Finding a flat in Berlin is difficult. The city is going through a housing crisis at a time when more and more people are moving here. Sascha Langenbach from Berlin's State Office for Refugees admits the containers aren't ideal, but he says they're a huge improvement.
In the sports halls, people didn't even have the independence to use a light switch for a year. Here, at least, they'll be able to close the door behind them and, for example, do their German homework. That's extremely difficult if you're living in a sports hall with 200 others. Yes, of course, people were probably hoping for something better, but we don't have that at the moment. For now, this is a step in the right direction.
The container homes are controversial, especially the ones on the old Tempelhof airfield. 3 years ago, Berliners voted in a referendum to keep it as a park and against its development. But that's not the only reason Esther Witt, who's part of a local campaign group, is against the containers.
It's still a mass camp for over 1,000 people. It's still very isolated and not integrated into the neighbourhood. And doing this here on Tempelhof airfield, which people voted to protect, it just seems like they're preparing for more permanent buildings. Ultimately, it's not really helping refugees.
It might be just a short-term solution, but it's set to cost the city 17 million euros over the next 2.5 years. After that, authorities say they'll remove the containers and return the corner of the airfield to Berliners. But where will the refugees go then?